All right, everybody, welcome back to another Trackmania Elite Cup, the big online qualifier tournament that will give us 8 players that go to the Esport World Cup and 16 players to the Esport Nations Cup later on in the year. Every top Trackmania player is trying their hardest at this because there's a ton of prize money on the line. $750,000 across both tournaments. More money than these Trackmania players have ever competed for in their lives. But without further ado, let us take a look at the track they will be competing on. The track they're competing on is USA. Hell yeah! K-Kona clap. USA 2026. Current world record, a 1:04.41 by Gwen. Otak in second and Barbos in third. Let's take a look. So they start with a no slide on the dirt. Drift around this corner. We're in the Grand Canyon. We go onto the ice, and then you can actually get quite a lot of exit speed if you time a flick out of the ice. They try to jump as low as they can up onto this huge ramp. One drift tap to jump into the dirt and go for a rather inside line. Oh, Gwen and Otak a bit more outside, and it gives more speed on the hill. Now here they're very close to 5th gear, but the best thing is to avoid it. Oh, another smart line by Gwen. Releasing further to get the 5th gear, okay. Through the dirt, ice flick, and then here in the ending, there used to be a wall bang, that's now been patched out. Then they drive down the hill, Neo slide into the second turn here. This is the main obstacle on the map. And then another normal drift and try to carry speed onto the last plastic. You might have noticed that this map is not that complicated, and that's very true. This is by far, I think, the easiest Elite Cup map for the pros to drive. We will not see many crashes. I think players are going to get eliminated on pace more often than in the previous ones, except for this jump. So this quarter pipe jump, you could see someone respawn and miss, case in point. But if it's not this jump, I don't think they will respawn throughout the round. Then, as I said, drift through here. And we're just going to go based off my no respawn timer here. I have basically 0 experience on this map apart from campaign discovery. But I think it'll put into perspective how crazy the top times are. If I just drift around here, I do a ice dirt flick. I don't think the pros will respawn. You're seeing some respawns now, but I think the pros have got this, guys. And maybe some wheel clips in the end, maybe some no drifts. Here, if you try to normally drift, you actually don't have the space. You have to Neo slide, a very precise technique to initiate a drift at low speed. I would have had a 1:06, 4 seconds behind, without my response. Are we just starting already? Yes, we are. All right, we're starting with the no knockout round. So after this round, there will be knockouts. Now, one moment. Let's do windowed borderless. We are going to see some people try to flex here. And whoever wins the no KO, you got to pay a close attention to, because there's this phenomenon where if you win the first round, you're very likely to go out. And we're also keeping an eye to see if there's any hidden lines. The one trick on this map I've seen is releasing here to land a little bit earlier. That way you get 5th gear before the jump instead of staying in 4th the entire way. And it builds a bit more speed. Into the ice dirt flick. Not much of tricksters to be had. Ran right now on a phenomenal run. And then in the ending here, guys, there are Neo slides. This is a technique that favors keyboard. It is very hard on steering wheel, and so while Mudda has won the first 2, I would actually give slight advantage to keyboard players. I know Granati, for example, is changing fully to keyboard in the ending here. It requires very quick steering changes. So you steer into a turn, you stop steering, you add brake, and then you start steering again, all within 0.2 of a second. So with the steering wheel, that's just really hard to do. But yeah, there's a lot of keyboard players in the field. Elcon, Binks, Mime, Granati now apparently. Some others as well. I know Levon had a great time on the campaign map, but can't see him here or in the quali, so maybe he missed out on the quali. The second Neo slide is very easy to no slide, yeah, I figured. But guys, We are off to the first round, and Legu already has a +2 second start. I am not sure what happened to him. Maybe his game lagged, because you really cannot lose that much time on the start normally. And let me also say, this is a map where we're expecting less mistakes than usual. We're expecting most people to drive a clean run, except for the quarter pipe jump. That's where things can happen. So 63 out of 64 players had a clean quarter pipe jump. Glust failed it. Avon maybe with a clip. And Legu has a chance. Oh, some people have respawned here. Actually, take it back. Right now it is Megorian and Tween left to scrap it out in the mud here. They both have equally low speed. They're 4.5 seconds behind. Tween the favorite, likely on these Neo slides. I'm not sure Megorian does them. He does them as well. Passes Tween into the last turn now and up to the finish. Tween with more speed. Oh, he snipes it away. 200th to the good. Wow. 200th to the good for Tween, who is a World Cup runner-up 4 times, guys, on the drifting style tech. So you can see him be very proficient in that part. Megorian, also incredible tech player in Nations Forever. So that was quite the battle for the first round. But yeah, no mistakes so far in the start. I don't think we'll see many. Pay attention to the quarter pipe jump. If anyone misses it, it is disaster. It is complete disaster. 1 respawn. 2. It's Tween again with Neon. Both of them failed it. Yeah, this is harder to come back from. There is that ice dirt flick, but surely players will see this. Surely players will notice, right? The only thing that can happen is you crash into the... One guy fully slid out. Tona, 3.4. And he was the worst of the mistakes there. It might be possible for Neon. This would be a crazy clutch. He's 0.3 behind into the ending. Tona doesn't Neo slide. Neon gets closer. Last turn for Tona. Oh! Oh, okay. Valiant effort. Valiant effort by Neon. It almost slipped out of Tona's hands, but he held the fort. He held the fort. Tona there, the previous Nadeo employee, guys, who used to pick track of the days. So, cool to see him also competing at the top level. If you have ever played track of the day or cup of the day and thought, man, this track's hard, it's because it was picked by a very good player. In the bobsleigh here, it's hard to tell with this many name tags and cars left that there are some tricks you can do there to gain time. It'll become more important with less players left. I think for these first rounds, we are just gonna see the mistakes decide. Right now, Affy's had a 4... Yeah, it was the quarter pipe. Affy with a respawn here. Yakosto with a clip. Affy, unfortunately, is likely going out here. Only a touch there, though, from a Polish name. That was Yakosto. No, that was Norkorek. And now Yakosto is back in the fight. Narkor, great on tech. These Polish guys are so good on technical maps. But Yakosto hits the Neo slide. He is going quite wide. But that seems to be good enough. Nobody falling off the fin. There was a car on the right side there. I think that was Birdie. But he made it. He made it through. Alright, here we go. Here we go. The 5th round, guys. It's such an endurance test for the players. They have to hit this jump 40 times in a row without fail to win it, and you know, soon these results are going to count. Like, there's 10 Elite Cups, your 5 best results count. If you've had a couple of bad ones, they're going to start counting soon. Alcon missing the jump here. +10, he's actually missed it twice. Alcon is completely out. He won the qualifier. Oh my god, triple respawn on the ice dirt flick. Zerar, who had a legendary week last weekend. He has clutch situations like this before. He has returned from the dead before. Asion DNF. Karusutina double respawn. He has plot armor. Continuing from last week. Is Elcon? Nah, Karusutina is ahead. Asion DNF. Electrical Connor, Elcon out. Unfortunate. One of the crowd favorites to watch. Though this map doesn't really let him be as flashy as usual. He often has a lot of flair in his driving, does crazy risky things. Maybe just went too low on the quarter pipe jump. I was trying to find the one American hope. Here he is. Flimsy TM. All the other Americans barely missed out on the quali. He's jumping high, keeping it safe. Panda off the side. He is going back to the bamboo forest, I believe. And his clanmate, Hedra, is in red as well, but still in the fight. 55 players in the race over the halfway mark. Now, we will see on the ice dirt flick who makes it. Flimsy down into the red there. Before it, everyone makes it. Josh with low speed. Trailing now. Barely made it into Division 1 this time around. Was a tough quali. Not sure if he knows the Neo slide. We can take a look. No, he no slides. That's okay, it loses a bit of time, but no mistakes have happened up front. And nobody misses... I said nobody misses the finish. Binks out. Huge surprise. Binks has gotten 2nd place and 8th place, I believe, as his 2 first results. Now going out in 55th. Jar Jar Binks. Okay. Binks out. Yeah, that's a huge surprise. Not something we expect to see. Gonna take a look at Wizzy for this round. Also one of the top players at the moment, currently without an org that I've signed him. Very consistent driver. Wouldn't say he has the highest peak pace, but very, very consistent. So far, his best run is a 1:03.08 in the cup. And I'm sure he could do faster, but he's just not risking it. Because this is the consequence. Legu and Brinken +6. Same mistake for them. And I think they know what awaits. What fate awaits them. And Wizzy with a respawn there. Birdie! This is a hard save. He makes it. And yeah, all the other ones, despite respawning and crashing terribly, have made less costly mistakes. It doesn't cost as much to crash in that part. Wizzy off the side again. He's actually in the red right now. Terribly in the red, and I apologize. Whatever happened there, that's on me. That is on me, guys. How did I pick the one player to try to compliment out of 50 left, and I picked the one that makes a mistake? It keeps happening. And I never intend to. I was gonna put the world record text on screen. Give me one moment. World record is a 1:02.413 by Gwen. Alright, back to the round. Quarter pipe jump. Any respawns? Up, there's one. Evon! Evon is gonna be out. Who else in the fight? Hill versus Paul right now. In the bottom 2 positions. But here we've seen respawn up. Paul and Tom both crashing. This is actually a sick battle. Both fantastic tech players. Up, but Paul crashes and no slide. Someone wondered why I keep saying uppa in a recent video. It's a term I learned when I lived in Brazil. They say, uppa veio, que é isso? Caralho. And here, it is very fitting when someone gets a no slide. Paul and Tom both safe. Jan missing the end and is out. Lived in Brazil? Yes, I lived there when I was a kid. For half a year, so I learned some Portuguese. It's all almost gone from memory, but very fun. Very, very fun. Alright, let's take a look at Scrappy. I bear no ill intent by spectating here. I was just curious how he's getting along because Scrappy, I think, has been unhappy with his first 2 Elite Cups. He is very good at the knockout format, and I will keep repeating that until we see him win Barbos. Now, with the only person respawning that quarter pipe jump, that is very unfortunate. He is one of the fastest players on the map. He was 3rd on the leaderboard before the qualifier, and I think also did quite good in the quali. Oi, huge respawn for Karusutina. Birdie able to continue, although he crashed. And guys, Birdie has been in the orange already quite a lot. Tona as well. Yacosta we've seen quite a lot in the red, but they are surviving. And we see the winning pace up 0.6 by Otak very quick. Top 4 French. Otak, Naiko, Maima Jr., and Guan. Some people have complained about the regional spots, but I think the EWC would look a lot like this if there were no regional qualifier spots. You would have predominantly Central European players. Is Uffy still in? No, he went out early. He had a miss on the quarter pipe jump. We're gonna actually go over to the cinematic cam here. We cannot really see, I think, anyone missing. Grenadi was so close to falling off. Oh my. That is a heart rate spike right there. J-Swag almost touching the outside, stays in. Grenadi still in dead last here. And there is a lot of pressure to hear that alarm sound when you're in last. Might add some pressure into the flick. That looks safe and sound. Naiko! On the day of his signing with FUT, is likely going out this round. Jadon versus Hedra in the bottom there. Josh doesn't do the no slide though, so Jadon might save himself. Hedra sniping away Friedish, and away Friedish is out with that one wheel clip in the end. Again, I know it's chaotic right now on the track, but as more and more players get eliminated, we get some clarity in the spectating. Right now, it's just big mistakes are where you're gonna get knocked out. Naiko was top 2 on some other map. Yeah, he was top 2 last week. Alright, let's take a look at Lingo. Lingo is a player that is a bit like Elcon in style. Very... Oh, someone failed here. I'm gonna bring up my point later. Who did crash going into the bobsleigh? That's Pika, and this is trouble. Double respawn before the jump has happened, and another Portuguese player, Paul, respawns as well. This is truly when we can say, que isso? Portugal, caralho. Not what they were hoping for. Very unfortunate there. I don't think there's any saving. Even Spam's clip here will have him safe by a mile. Has Carl Jr. signed with a team yet? Yes, he has. You can see the FLCN for Spam the coach, and also Carl playing for Team Falcons.
Yo, Portugal. See you later. Good. I crashed in a round where others crashed. That is good.
What rank would you say Germany's in TM? I mean, they won the Trackmania games, so I think they are therefore the best country across the board. Pika has peaked. Okay. Okay. Quarter pipe jump once more. Josh looks in trouble there. Very low. Did he land that? Did. And there is a chance up. Birdie is looking like he flew too close to the sun. He has been in the orange a lot. Don't think he's coming out of it one more time. Josh, however, has a opportunity against Charles, but it's far. And Zerar is just stacking up the plot armor. One more orange to add to the stats. He's farming it at this point. Rotaker into the water! Going for a swim. Is Birdie gonna come back from this? There's no way, right? Rotaker passes Letster, But Roadtaker out, and Birdie is in. Types a question mark in the chat. Roadtaker says PayPal later. It's all business in the chat. It's all business over there. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I have not been paying attention to who's doing best up front, but we've seen Otak have a lot of pace. I've seen his name appear many times. Good quarter pipe jump for him. Do we have every player? Okay, 13 rounds in, we have every player making the jump. This is going to be tense now. Again, there's this 5th gear landing, saves maybe about a 10th. You can see some players extending away from Pusito Paco, who didn't do it. Now the flick, keeping good speed into it, is a little bit challenging on the exit. Guys, the god might be fallen here in round 13, unless there are some water incidents. Mudda in dead last. Birdie behind him, hang on. But yeah, not enough for Mudda. He went 2 full knockouts flawlessly. 78 rounds in a row in those 2. Add another 13 in here. But that's the streak of survival for Mudda. Unlucky for him. Unlucky for Mudda. I was hoping for the hat trick. But he can already rest well assured he will be in first place after this cup no matter what. Probably in the next 3, guys, he's still gonna be in first place. So I would not worry too much if I was Mudda. But yeah, not the result he was hoping for, obviously, with the tweet asking who was gonna be second. Now to what I want to talk about with Lingo. Lingo has this Elcon playstyle where he's very quick. He can easily do world record in a couple of days, but he also risks too much. And I think Lingo's problem in a cup like this is that he eventually gets bored. It's too boring for Lingo to drive safe for 39 rounds. So you'll see him risk really hard at some point and be out. Hedra off the track, Tona down there. Spam has made a mistake, but didn't go into the wall bang. Night Tech. Oh my god, if he fell off there, he'd be out. But all these guys are in. We're guaranteed a new winner, that's true. Are we almost guaranteed a new top 2 as well? Mudda and Binks are out, and Mudda and Naiko are out, right? So we are guaranteed a new second place as well. So yeah, there's gonna be huge points to be gained now for whoever gets there. Where's Carl Jr.? People have asked this, like, dude, I watched the entire cup and didn't even know Carl was playing. I actually think the players that will go the furthest across many cups are the ones that you cannot see. They're the players you don't even know are playing until like the top 10 round, because they're just in this clutter of name tags. They're not up front because they're not risking, and they're not last because they're not making mistakes. They're just in that cloud of players. Carl does that, and he got 4th last time with that strategy. Oh, someone hit the outside wall. That's a very unfortunate place to crash before the ice. One clip there, I saw a Canada flag. Was that Lingo? No, it wasn't. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Tom passes Dionysus, but the next player is about a second ahead, and that is Yakosto. No mistakes so far in the Neo slides, and oh, Nitek! Sniped! Dionysus returns into the clear. Nitek jumped out at the end. Dionysus is the ancient Greek god of wine, theater, and ritual madness, known as the twice-born deity. Quite fitting, no? That's not exactly what his name is, but I think it's referencing that. He had a rebirth in the cup. Also heave here the new signing for Waibu Gaming, Chinese esport org. Did every player make the jump again? It looks like it. Yes, Serrar in last. Now, where have we seen this before? He is not scared in a position like this. I mean, this is par for the course for him. Different drift lines. Dionysus again in a bit of trouble. But some players clipped there. Worker and Richie. Both hoping for another mistake. Else, Richie is about to be poor and Worker is about to be jobless. Looks like both will happen because Dionysus, twice reborn, make that 3 times. He's back in orange and he stays alive in the round. Guys, I'm doing terribly with the puns. Please help me out here. You guys are good at this. I'm not. My God, there are a lot of good French players. Look at this leaderboard. You'd think we're watching the Nationals. Trackmania is international, but it is also very clear the country of the game has its biggest roots. Very, very clear. Just clicking about, checking out some names. We haven't seen much from Pack, and that's a good thing, I think. His best time a 0.8, but he did drive a 0.5, I believe, in the quali. So, just staying consistent. I am gonna look back here though, because Apos, by far one of the favorites, in top 5 in the quali himself, is in the red, but he has good end lines. I don't think you should be too scared if you're an Apos fan. He passes Flimsy. The American hope he passes one more player, and is now into the clear. That player was Yacosto. Flimsy, can he make a comeback into safety? Apos is still the closest opponent up the last hill. Flimsy risks and is out. And Mime has failed the end as well. Yacosto's in. Unlucky for Mime again. He hasn't gotten it to work yet. In these Elite Cups, always getting eliminated around this spot. Huge surprise for Yacosto though. His best time is a 103.47. And I don't think he, I'm not sure what his ambitions are, of course, in the cup, but he's not traditionally known to be, like, fully up there with the top guys. So the fact that he's gotten this far is really impressive. Yacosto, one fun fact about him is that he's actually deaf. He watches a lot of Trackmania Twitch streams with a browser tool that automatically adds subtitles, but he doesn't have hearing, so for Trackmania that's quite a disadvantage since you cannot hear the gears. But he still gets by. Cool stuff. He makes it through, but now everyone else did too, and this is going to be a tough round to survive. Although, guys, this is not a caster curse. This is not a caster curse, I swear it. He couldn't hear me. So therefore, therefore, we know that I didn't just distract him. Oh, Charles with a mistake as well. J-Swag, the last one in. But what I was going to say for Yacosto is, at this point, it's getting very hard to survive when he would have to drive, essentially, his best pace to be in. So, huge cup for him still. He can be proud. Maybe not my best joke. But Yacosto's a chill guy. If you guys haven't seen the Twitch emote Yak, it is made in his honor. It's for when someone says something so silly you can hardly believe what you're seeing. You type Yak in the chat. And it is a Trackmania emote in tribute to Yacosto. What a round this is. Lingo and Zerar, both close to last here. I mean, they are bottom 2 spots. Zerar, used to it. Lingo, I'm scared for his survival chances here. He's gonna risk very hard now. Oh, he threaded the needle. He got the wheel past the wall. That was what I was scared of. Zerar still in red, 100th apart from Snow. Passes Snow in the drift, but Snow comes back with more speed. Zerar is last into the Neo slides. He gets a good one there, though. Spam also very close to the cutoff. This is going to be impossible to call. There are far too many cars. I think Zerar is safe, and Spam out with 100th away from Rossi.
No! What? I'm out! It was delayed! I thought I was in. That was a good round though, no mistakes. No, I thought I could play. I didn't even drive like fast yet. GG.
Now, I should already bring this up, guys, because there are going to be ties. There are going to be ties on this map. The decider is not your name, as it's been for many years in Trackmania. It's not your name differentiating the players. It is whoever was ahead at the previous checkpoint. And if that's tied, you go one checkpoint back. So, last checkpoint decides. Whoever's ahead there, if they tie at the finish line, that person wins. Just so you guys know. How is Alcon doing? He already is out, unfortunately. So, we don't get to see him do his shenanigans. Interesting, J-Swag is the only person with a full outside line there. The other players must have tried it as well, but he's really making it work. And getting great points as one of the hopes in the Oceania qualifier. Such a close round. Tricky was in last there. Now it's back to being Zerar close to last. I think he actually is last. Never mind. The positions have changed again. It's Dionysus in last. Legu fighting with Soldier. I think we're going to take a look at that battle. Hill misses the drift a bit. It's Hill and Dionysus out at the moment. And that result remains. Dionysus out. And Zerar in orange. What do you know? He keeps doing it. Let's spectate some players we haven't spectated yet. Let's spectate New Prime. I think this is the furthest he's gotten in the Elite Cup. Maybe he got as far last time. But he is someone to look out for, guys. He's very consistent. And very good at these formats, typically. Did really good at XP Evo, for example. And also in the World Tour with Epos. So, a name to look out for there. Maimo Jr. right now in last, but 0.4 between everybody after 40 seconds of driving. Such a close round. Nobody can really feel too safe anymore. Maimo missing the flick, and so does Soldier. They're left trailing the entire field. And it should be a formality for the rest of the players at this point. They know the gap, no mistakes, nobody falling into the water. This is going to be Zerar again in orange. No, he's a bit faster in the end, yeah. Soldier and Maimo Jr. unfortunately out with that. Glenn winning with a 0.6. Yeah, 0.6 feels like needlessly fast. Other than New Prime, I'm wondering if there's someone we haven't really talked about. Maybe J-Swag we could take a look at. Played for Team Mahi in the Australian regionals last year. That's when Jetlag competed against J-Swag and Biwak. That's how we know them. He does this one line on the outside, which nobody else does. I wanted to see the pace difference on that. So into this checkpoint, he is 0.16 behind. Goes up on the outside and then pushes speed down here. And now up to first place he is 0.2 behind, but he has a lot of speed from the landing as well, so overall that looks like a really good find if he's consistent at it. And again, Zerar in red. Name a better duo. Zerar and coming back in the last part of the track. This looks hard. This looks really hard. On the French map, there was at least quarter pipe jumps. Here, it's not going to be easy at all. He passes one, but that is still quite the distance to cover into the end. And Carl Jr. makes a mistake, and Zerar passes him, but he gets passed by the others and is actually out. I thought he would go on to survive once more, but not quite. Didn't see the knockout pace there, but low 103, I'm assuming, was the cutoff. So not a star result for Zerar again, but still pretty good. And yeah, Carl Jr. out, but Lingo still in, so when it comes to the ENC rankings, this is a great opportunity for Lingo to try to catch up to Carl in points. Carl does have a 4th place from last week, so Lingo would have to stay in for quite a bit longer to make it work. I might want to repeat the point format if you guys are unfamiliar. Basically, the positions between getting 64th and 10th are very similar in points. Lingo in trouble. Because the top 10s, they really want them to matter, so from 64th to 10th place, you get up to 100 points. And then from then on out, you get up to 1,000. Lingo there missing a drift and is actually out just after Carl, so not able to close in much. Rossi also out. Wanted to pull up the infographic for you guys. Yeah, I'll do it after this round. Top 20 now. Top 20. And I think about half the players remaining are French. Pretty crazy stuff. Tricky is a big surprise here. He is a player that used to be very good at the Serrator Cups, the French tournament. Oh, J-Swag, that's the risk of the line. When you go outside line, if you crash, it is so much more costly. And the gains might not be worth it for something you have to do 39 times in a row. Legu clipping as well, and Tricky is now gonna feel a bit safer, I believe. Because it is a 1 second gap. But yeah, if you're not familiar with him, I think he has gotten up to quarterfinals, maybe even semifinals of that tournament before. And that is no easy feat. Yeah, knockout pace right now, 103.3, so we're seeing increasing pace. Look at this, guys. These are the points for your position in the Elite Cup, so, I mean, if you got, like, 50th, right, like Alcon, you get 16 points. If you got 9th, you get 96 points. Those are effectively the same with how much points the top positions give, and only your best 5 results count. Therefore, if it's anything but a top 10 spot, it's likely not going to be in your best 5 for the players that end up qualifying. But now it's getting very tense. This is the last double knockout round. From this point on, there will be only 1 knockout per round, so this is a very punishing round to go out in. And right now, Josh and Gwen in the bottom 2 spots. Want to take a look at Gwen. He is a Trackmania magician. Has played the game since he was 4 years old. There's some videos of him on Daily Motion of him playing Trackmania Nations Forever when he could barely hold a controller. So he's just a very naturally gifted player at the game. And has great game understanding, but right now, that doesn't really matter. What matters is pace. 100th from being in the safe region with Tricky and Josh into the Neo slide. He does it. Heave misses and is very likely eliminated. Who is going to join him in the bottom grid? Naughty going very wide, pushes back with speed, and Josh snipes Tricky at the finish line there and stays in with a 0.4. Phew. Yeah, I typed Josh 07, but he got the comeback. Top 16, we have a lot of countries with 3 stripes. That seems to be the pattern. And the Brits. This is, I think, why people are a little upset at the regional spots. Europe gets 6 spots in the in the EWC qualifiers, but right now, top 16 are all European. So you can see just how Euro-centric Trackmania is. Carl Jr., of course, likely should have been in here. Lingo as well. J-Swag was just outside the top 16, but yeah. A lot of the pros are European. Anyway, into the ice flick. Oh no, that was Gwen. That was Gwen. Saw the red AG tag. Bren has also failed. But this is where, when it's only 1 knockout and you see splits like this, you just don't risk. They know it, they see it. Huge gap and they can chill. And this will be the case for any round with a crash. Because they know the map so well, they just look over at the split, see, oh, okay, and then safe it in. Every time I mention a player they go out next round, well, I like talking, I like yapping. I like yapping, what can I say? Alright, who to watch now? Let's maybe take a look at Epos. Both Team Liquid players are still in. Coco, okay. Matches Jadon on that checkpoint. And they have a 2/10 gap to close to the field. Neither does the 5th gear line. So they're gonna be still about the same distance away. That is painful for Coco. That is a painful crash. Not much more to do for him. And the others are just gonna chill now. Triple... Oh. It's fine. Okay. Area flying out in the end. Jesus Christ. I thought that was Scrappy for a second because I saw the Belgian flag. But it was Area. Still fine. Not something you want to do for a round that is as guaranteed as that one. I think at this point a player I'm pretty curious about is actually Bren. This is likely to be Bren's best Elite Cup result so far, and also Pack. So big opportunity for them. They haven't made it work in the first couple Elite Cups. Now a chance to show what they're made of. The finalists from this year's World Cup. Carl Jr., Pack, Mudda, and Bren. Into the ending, everybody is within 0.2 of a second. This was what we foresaw would happen eventually. This map is quite drivable for the pros. There's not too many things going on, and it will be decided in the Neo slides. Josh in trouble though, because he doesn't do this Neo slide. That's cost him a 1/10, a valuable 1/10 of a second. Will anyone fail up to the fin? No, unfortunately. And Josh is out. Everybody else does that one Neo slide, and that is the difference maker. Top 13 now. The points are soon going to stack up tremendously. If they can survive just 10 more rounds, it could be better than, you know, getting top 15 for the remainder of the Elite Cups. Just one standout performance matters so much in this format. Interesting inside line landing from Grenadi. That actually seems to gain over the distance. No mistakes yet. It's even closer than previously. 0.23 now between everybody. Someone missed the drift, I think. Not sure who. Jadon, but 2 people have slid out. There's chaos. Melia was able to continue. New Prime wasn't. And New Prime is going to go out. More than likely. Josh play with mouse? No, it's not Josh, it's Boss Bass, another UK player. But you do bring up input devices. Interesting question. I think we still have one player on each main device left. Pustita Paco is keyboard, Wosal is keyboard, and then you have a bunch of controller players, and then you have Grenadi on wheel / keyboard. He uses both. Top 12 now. It's getting serious. Heart rate's probably higher than ever for players who haven't been here, like Scrappy hasn't been here yet. Very important for him. Pack hasn't been here. Bren hasn't been here. And the Elite Cup. Otak as well, important for him. After the DC week 1. Look how consistent they are, guys. It is so unbelievably impressive what they're doing right now. All driving this consistently within 0.1 of each other, round after round. It's actually insane, the consistency we're seeing, but we're seeing a respawn on the flick. It is such close rounds, you do have to risk. Jadon pays the price. And after this round, he's maybe going to be Jade-off. Never mind, Otak! That's so close, because the speed equalizes. Oh lord! Otak stays in. Otak stays in. And Jadon is now Jadon. Otak deserves a bit of good luck. I think that's positive karma from the unfortunate incident. We have our top 11, guys. keep you updated on points as we get into the top 10. Melio with an awkward jump makes it. Prizepool left trailing a little bit behind the others. Gonna jump on board with him. Nobody touching the dirt. Bit of a bump from Grenadi. He's still fine. Didn't lose too much speed. And now into the ice. Different setups. Everybody made it. Point 2. Alright, it's time to send. Time to send the Neo slides. I would give an advantage here to Prizepool and Wosal, keyboard players. Likely able to steer quicker. Last turn. So close. Impossible to call. Paco passed a lot of people. Area gets passed by many, and he is the last one to the line. 400th behind Epos, who barely squeezes by. Team Liquid now. 2 close calls in a row. Alright. So, 10th round. Person who goes out now gets 92 points. This would be a best result for Melio by far. Standout performance for him. But maybe could go even further. Awkward jump for Melio though. 2,500ths away-ish. Massa almost touched the dirt. The thing with Knockout is it's so volatile. If the others keep making mistakes, you can just stay in. If you're Mariusing it, if you're the safing and surviving. And Massa is the closest target for Melio, something he has to hope for here in the Neo slides. First one clipped by Paco, and he's now down in last, and that is such a tricky place to crash because you don't have speed. You just don't have speed for the next slides. And Prizepool goes out. Still, Prizepool, that is his best Elite Cup performance so far. He's actually very consistent, guys. Prizepool has gotten 11th in the first cup, 12th in the second one, and now 10th. So, very consistent performances, but that just gives him 80, 90 points every time. And someone like Nico, who just got a random second place, has 800 points, you know? It's pretty crazy when you think about it. It's pretty crazy. Like, it truly just matters to be, like, top 2 one time. But they have 10 weeks to do it. The best players will rise to the top and claim those top scores, I have no doubt. Pac now in a bit of trouble. This is his best Elite Cup yet. Has survived 33 rounds. And is very good at tech, but now it's getting tough. Look at the players he has to pass to make a comeback happen. The closest is Scrappy, or Bren, or perhaps Grenadi. Neither of them easy to get by on a Neo slide. Last turn, Pac still in a lot of trouble. 0.2 behind only. Goes for an inside line. Passes someone. No! 100th away. Look at this round. Every single 100th matters. Wosal eliminates Pac by 0-0-1. And Epos 0-0-1 ahead of that. And Scrappy 0-0-1 ahead of that. 0.15 between all the pros. Driving within half a second of the world record. Completely insane. Completely insane stuff. Now the person that goes out gets 100 points. For 8th place. And the low jump starts to matter more and more. Grenadi with the best jump this time. Scrappy with the worst of it. Here's that alarm noise, is used to it from Cup of the Day, but now starts to trail more and more. Gets the 5th gear line though. Comes back towards Massa. Inside drift for him, low speed onto the ice, might make the flick easier to manage, and does get by. Melio's there. Epos is last into the ending section. Onto the Neo slides. Gets good speed into it, and maybe a little bit closer to the field. Grenadi on a secondary input device right now, on the keyboard, still fighting his way through. Melio last, up to the last corner. And clips as well, unfortunate. Had he made that jump, there's a chance that he would have sniped, but yeah, again guys, the cutoff is a 98. It was a 98 last round, and a 98 this round. That is the threshold they have to drive at. Best performance for Melio by far in the Elite Cup. Next person to go out now gets 200 points. 200 points to their Elite Cup rankings. And now we can start to take a look at the start. There is a bit of a line in the bobsleigh, guys, where you wobble extra. You can see Otak doing it. And Wosal got it really good. That extra speed gains a ton into the jump. 500ths. That is the ton we're talking about. Wosal has had a bit of a mishap. And at this stage, this is quite the big mistake. 3/10 behind the closest player. They will know this. They still cannot really save. But they know that it is easier now than before. Grenadi with a bit of a mistake. Onto the ice. Suddenly Wosal has a chance. Keyboard versus keyboard. Wosal's home turf. Grenadi's not too happy to play the keyboard, but has to for each drift here. Wosal low speed into the first one. Grenadi is going to equalize. Better line there for Wosal. Last uphill decides. How far can Grenadi go? Tries, but doesn't get grip in the last turn. And Wosal makes the comeback. Grenadi out in 7th.
Scheiße, guys, I had a bad round. Ah, Mann, ey, dude, what a knockout, ey, holy moly. Yeah, unlucky. I mean, 7th, honestly, I cannot complain. I played a really, really good knockout.
That is Grenadi's second best result, a 3rd place, and a 18th place, and now a 7th. 6th place, now 300 points for whoever goes out. Grenadi, more like Grenadios. I hadn't heard that one before. That's actually pretty good. How long have you been waiting? How long were you waiting to type that? That's so silly. Yeah, look at Wosal bobsleigh speed here with that little flick. Passes Otak, equal to Masa, still a 10th behind. Oh, he clips, but it's fine. He clips when he had 0 speed, mind you. So there wasn't much speed to lose. That's why he's still equal. And what a performance for Team Liquid this cup. Both players into the top 6. On their day of announcing the signing, Otak showing up. Also great performance for Wosal. Bren, much needed performance. Scrappy, much needed performance. Here it's very, very close. Once more, Otak versus Scrappy seems to be the battle. A 10th of a second is quite a lot at this stage. Can Scrappy find it in the slides? Gets a decent one. Gets a good one. Apple's in trouble. Apple's in a lot of trouble. Last turn. Scrappy and Apples. Oh, they crashed. They both crashed. Wosal and Apples into the pillar. Apples gets the worst of it and goes out in 6th. That is his second best Elite Cup. Has a 28th place, a 5th, and now a 6th place. Still good points for the overall rankings and the UK rankings for him. Once you're at this stage, there's just so much more to get if you get a couple of more rounds in. You're happy, but you're also like a little annoyed that you were very close to the biggest scores. Alright, attention now on Masa as well. Had a 6th place on the first one, I think, around there. Now, looking like one of the favorites to maybe win this entire thing. Wosal 0.1 behind the field. Doesn't do the upper gear line, so will remain behind. Maybe a bit closer. Otak. Slow onto the ice dirt. Masa clips, and the caster's curse has struck once more. They might have to ban me from sports betting, guys. I don't think I'm allowed to bet on any game after this. I don't think so. And you can see immediately they're so attentive, guys. They see a mistake like that, and immediately the winning pace drops to a 103.2.
Of course, it's the one part that you generally cannot save. Disappointing, to be honest. The way I played, disappointing.
It's not about always driving fast. It's about knowing when to fight and when to chill out. Top 4. Otak, Bren, Wosal, and Scrappy. 3 French players and the most winning Cup of the Day player of all time. Scrappy. So used to knockout formats, so used to having to be consistent, and so good at it. Gets a beautiful quarter pipe jump to climb out of last place. Now it's Otak in the red. But he does this early landing and gets it. And passes Bren with that. Into the drift, onto the ice. They're all side by side. Scrappy has the only one with a bit of a lead, a bit of a breakaway. But this is anyone's game, I swear. Anyone can win or lose it here in the end. They're not gonna touch, but they are gonna full send. May the best drifter win. Bren having to adapt 2 times. Otak still in red though. Last turn is gonna send it. Maybe misses grip. He gets there. Scrappy fails the ending.
No, I fucked up. That was easy top 3. It doesn't matter. I take it 4th. I take it.
But that is such an insane round again. Scrappy out in 4th. That scores 500 points for him. Still can be pretty happy about that. Now 600 points on the line for whoever gets 3rd. Triple French in the top this time around. And that really tells you how good of a Trackmania country France is. Last week there were 2 French players in the top 3, but they were different French players from the 3 we see here. That was Serrar and Nico, and now you have Otak, Bren, Wosal. Like, they just have such an insane lineup of players. Now we get to see who takes it. It would be really hype for Otak on the day that he announced his signing with Liquid, if he is to win it. And also, cool to see Wosal, who's so good at the endurance formats, thrive here. Bren as well. So good on endurance and knockouts and tricky trial maps. But what matters most is your Neo slides right now. Otak in last into the ending, 0.1 behind. Gets closer to Wosal, but not quite, not for long. Last turn, Wosal has the speed. And Otak goes out in 3rd on his signing day. Still a good round. Now the finals, Bren versus Wosal. Good luck to both. A 0.6 by Bren going into the finals. Fantastic time, only 2/10 away from the record. His best time in this cup so far is a 6:00. Wosal's best is a 0.8. So now he really has to drive above his pace for every round previously to challenge Bren. Can he do it? Will we have any fiesta in the jump up? Uh-oh. He almost clipped, but he's fine. And Bren jumped higher, but got a better landing. 600ths apart. Bren touches! Bren touches, and Wosal has the sole lead. 0.4 of a gap. It's not GG yet. There's still a lot of obstacles. Bren got that really good. Knows he has to send. Wosal still 0.5 ahead though. Should have this under control by now. Let's follow him in the final turns. Wosal, a player we hadn't really talked too much about in the previous Elite Cups, is the one to claim the 1000 here with a 0.91. Bren caught up a lot in the ending and drove a 103.1 with a crash. Bren gets 700 points. Wosal gets the 1000. GG's. Let's now take a look at the overall standings after 3 cups are played. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the first 2. We have Mutta in 1st place with 2 wins and 24 points from the US. I think he's going to be alright with that. Wosal, after getting 17th and 45th, immediately into 2nd place with that plus 1000. Grenadi in 3rd with a 3rd place, 18th and 7th, very consistent. Binks, 2nd, 8th, and 55th in 4th. Nico, not the best this time around, but 2 previously good results. Massa now in 6th. And you can see how much it matters for Scrappy. Like, Scrappy had very middling results so far. 1 4th place, instant top 12. Also now in the ENC for him.